Okay. All right. It says streaming. Maybe it's streaming. We'll see in a second if it pops up. I think I just told you guys everything over the last 6 minutes, and as always, the audio screwed up, and it looked like it didn't have any audio. So I'm just gonna repeat everything I just said. Um, my back's still screwed up. I'm having a very difficult time sitting up. I have to lean over on one side to support myself, and a lot of times, even just walking around, I gotta reach for something that's about 8 feet in the air, my left side, to be able to stand up. Luckily, my shower is set up correctly so that I do have something way up high that I can grab onto to support myself, so I can stay clean. So that part's cool. But I can't sit for very long. I can't reach easily for the mouse to do the episodes in regular work type stuff. So it's going to be maybe another month of physical therapy. We'll see. When I get done with physical therapy, it feels really good. When I'm not doing physical therapy, it's really bad and sucks. The pills and stuff don't really help much anymore. So it's just the physical therapy that does anything. I'm going to try to get it for twice a week instead of once a week, maybe 3 times. Because when I get out of there, it feels like things are finally moving in a positive direction. The next day happens, and I'm all bound up again, trying to get my legs straightened out and do that kind of stuff. My left side's about half the size. My left leg is about half the size of my right now because of the nerves are all screwed up and not being able to use it. So, yeah, I would say I'm not going to have a whole lot of updates for Kickstarter until I can generate some more muscle tissue in my left side and get that sciatic nerve pulled back into position to where it's supposed to be. And I don't know how long that'll take, but I have to devote as much time as I can to that. That's like every day is leg day type of situation. And I won't be able to do any of the updates or prioritize anything with Kickstarter or the channel or anything like that until I can move about normally again. So I don't know necessarily where to go to get the same type of channel content. So I don't know what to suggest other than maybe just checking KickTrack and scrolling through it. Even to the point of I was doing the episodes where I would still list everything out for you guys. The mouse movement and all that kind of stuff, I can't do. It's too much time sitting in one spot. And even the 6 minutes that I screwed up with no audio on the previous live thing is like, I can feel it. It's making me sweat and everything from the pain right now. So there's basically no period of time that I can spend in a seated position, and I don't have a standing desk set up like I do at work here at home to be able to put the episodes together. And it does take hours of just sitting here doing it, and it may be, like I say, a couple of months before I'm able to sit in a position for that long. I have to basically get buns of steel before I'm going to be improving much. So yeah, I got a lot of bad news on the MRI. Some of it I already knew. Those of you that know me know that I've had a significant amount of back surgery already. I might have to go back and get more. But we're going to try right now, because once you have one back surgery, they are less inclined to give you another one because they're worried about stuff. But I still have, even though I had the discs removed, I have other bulging discs in there. And at that time, there was no Obamacare. So I was paying cash for everything, and I couldn't get like the fancy stuff where they would put the silicone replacement discs or anything like that. No, they just went in and they scooped out the material off my spinal cord, and that was about as good as it got. So, $100 grand, but that's as good as it gets. And that's just the way, American stuff works. Had to go on an ambulance because I couldn't hinge. Like my body had to remain straight. I can't bend much in any way, which is why sitting is so hard. And had to go in an ambulance just to get the x-ray. So that's going to be a few $1,000s. And then had to get the x-ray so I get the MRI, but it took 2 weeks to get the MRI, which I should have had day one. I should have started physical therapy day one. It takes 2 weeks to get an appointment. I much preferred the last health insurance that I had under Obamacare because I had more options. The one I have through work just isn't as good as what I had when I was paying for Obamacare. So if you haven't had that experience and you haven't had to change anything over and you haven't had to do anything different, then that's the difference. Being able to have that selection of choice and not being stuck to the model that exists that we have right now, where you're done. You can only get what your lowest bidder for your employer picked up. You get much better care when there's an open market, and you only get an open market if there's no restrictions. And you only get no restrictions when you have socialized health insurance. I used to live in Korea. In Korea, they charged 3% off for your taxes. As I understood it, again, they had to tell me, in broken English what the costs were, but it was about $65 to buy in per month, and then 3% of income tax was part of that. And then I never spent more than $10 on a copay. I never spent more than 10 minutes in line. There was a clinic or 5 on every building in every corner, everywhere in where I was at in Seoul. So now there may be some limitations here because the buildings aren't as big and things are spread out a little bit more in the United States. But if we were under that same model and you could go anywhere with your insurance and you didn't have to go to one particular person, you could find somebody that's open. It's the same MRI machines. They can just get you in, get you done that day. And they gave me, the pharmacy was right next to the hospital. So it was like 7 minutes of sitting there in the wait room. Doctor looked at me for whatever amount of time. Doctor spoke English, so he told me exactly what I needed to do. Within 5 minutes, I was over at the pharmacy. They gave these pill packets on a strip. The pharmacist would walk around and give you like little things that he would suggest for what you needed to be done. And then you were off on your way and back at work probably within an hour and a half. And within 2 days, no matter what the problem was. And I had some serious intestinal issues because of the ways that they don't clean their produce over there that I was not expecting. I got a lemon and I put it in my water and it came with diseases. So I ended up getting sick from that. And there were some other things like I got bit by mosquitoes and got different things. It was bad. But the healthcare was perfect because it was socialized medicine. And it was socialized over there because 60% of the people at the time, I believe was the number was told to me, work for Samsung. So it was Samsung's health insurance for the whole country, basically. And that's what we had. And you can go in and just get things done. So if I still had that, I might be walking, I might be sitting, I might be able to handle the channel. I'd have sweet, ridiculously fast internet because Korea had that too. If you're not from the United States, then you might not know that our system of insurance, not our system of doctors, not our system of hospitals, but our system of insurance and payment is a quagmire of terrible ideas. And it causes you to not get the services you need. It causes you to not get the type of care you need. It causes you to wait too long. It's basically made to make you suffer until you don't use the insurance or you die. And they want you to die before you use the insurance because the insurance would be costly. And that's why our current system is the way it is. But if you are here from the United States and you've never lived overseas and you've never had socialized medicine, you wouldn't know how bad our current system really is. So that's my rant based on my current anecdotal experience and the state of the channel and all that. obviously it's going to be a while. You guys can still comment, anything like that. I probably won't be able to get back to anybody for months at a time. And then all of a sudden, maybe I'll make a video at the end and go from there. Some of you guys are, pretty good about commenting. You're interested about what's going on and all that kind of stuff. So that's the only reason to make this update, is for the half a dozen of you that are interested in that kind of information. But yeah, the rest of it is I'll be back when I can. I don't know if the channel should be the same. I don't know if the channel should be different. I try to cover everything, and maybe there's stuff you guys just aren't interested in anymore. The amount of viewers has declined quite a bit. So maybe there's just stuff you're no longer interested in, and I can cut that part out. I will always be interested in the models and the RPGs and then the board games and that type of stuff. So yeah, but I don't think there's anything that you probably haven't seen. I backed the Steingart. I backed Celeste Conowish's Guide to the Undead. I backed A Few in the Cursed RPG. The new Tainted Grail. I don't know if Werewolf of the Apocalypse Retaliation will be up on November 15th. I don't know if I'll be back by then. I hope I'll be back before then, but I might not be available as I'm trying to increase the muscle mass on my left leg to fix these problems. But we'll see. If I can sit up to do some game stuff instead of doing an episode, maybe I'll play a game or something like that, just to have something to go on. But I'll leave that to you guys in the comments if you want me to do anything, or if there's anything worth building. I'm still waiting for the Prusa, the new 3D printer, and that will be able to do supports. And I need to be able to have dissolvable supports in order to create the Kingdom Death boxes in plastic instead of in wood, because I wanted to have something repeatable that you guys could just use if you wanted to. But all the boxes that I made, and if you've looked at other stuff on the channel in the Kingdom Death section of the playlist, you'll be able to see it. Then you'll know I made boxes for all of the current expansions, and it fits all the cards. It fits everything except the books that come with it, and the books go into a folder because that is, or like a D-ring binder. That's a much better way of keeping them. And yeah, so that was my next build that I was going to do, is to take the Prusa XL and with the 2-head changer, and then have it do the dissolvable supports. And when I tried to do it with a regular printer and just basic supports, when you tear the supports off, it ripped everything else apart. I wanted to keep the walls thin so that everything fits nice and lightweight. They don't have to be overbuilt and over-engineered and all this other stuff, wasting material. So the support stuff should be fine, and going from there. So that's what's next, if I can get the camera working. I screwed up the Canon Pro 100. So I'm not printing anything off right now. Otherwise that, would increase my reading stuff. I'm going to be reading Out of the Abyss, which is the next book of the old 5e stuff, the original 5e releases. This one's about the Drow and the Underdark. I got to read that, Storm King's Thunder. And then I think I'm caught up, because then right after that is Curse of Strahd. And at that point was when I started getting back into D&D. And I read full Temple of Annihilation, and then I just have current books to catch up on. Candlekeep Mysteries and some stuff like that. The Descent into Avernus. So maybe I'll get through those books while I'm laying prone. There's like a bed, and then under the bed I set the book, and then I got the light, and then I can read it, that way. So that's how I get through. Okay, I'm rambling because I've been sitting in a room by myself watching the same YouTube streams as I pass out on occasion over and over again for 3 weeks, and it just made me, I guess, extra chatty. But I'm going to end it now, and I hope you guys have a good one. And like I said, if you want to throw in what types of stuff you want me to return to on the channel, I'll do that. Have a good one.